Hey, what's going on, crew? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Today's video is going to be talking about overall health and nutrition for your pet. On Wednesday, unfortunately, my dog passed away of 10 years. She had liver disease, and I guess this is fairly common with terriers. She was a pit bull. They have a genetic predisposition to get liver disease, and of course she ends up getting, it's not uncommon, but the one that she did end up having was uncommon. So it's a common thing that happens with the dog, but her symptoms were a little bit different, and it was really hard to diagnose. And we basically had to go through like a whole year of just, I took her to like 3 or 4 different vets, and no one could really quite figure out. I got cancer scare, I got all this other stuff, I got like all these different diagnoses, and none of them were accurate. I think one of them was even that she had Lyme disease, and then to do like a simple blood test. What's very important if you have a dog, and even for yourself, you need to be getting your blood test. And if you have a dog or a cat, make sure that they're getting their blood tests every year, pickups. But yeah, it took like a year to even really figure it out. And at that time, once we got it diagnosed, she was basically already failing. I had to take her to an ER. They ended up calling me in the middle of the night saying I was probably gonna have to put her down. And then miraculously, she started eating again. They got her hydrated, and they released her to me. And basically within the month that she was released, approximately about a month in a week, she passed away. So we had a good long goodbye, but it was really hard, and just dealing with not knowing what it was and just trying to get it diagnosed, and just kind of getting played by, I don't know, I can't really say getting played by the vet. I can't really say that, but I just feel like there's things that they could have done differently. They tried charging me like $2,000 for like a bunch of tests, and then when I went over to the pet ER, it ended up being like $200. So it's just kind of stuff like that what kind of got to me. And then the other thing is that with liver disease, and they're misdiagnosing it, they gave her a bunch of antibiotics. Okay. And I don't know if any of you guys have any medical or know anything about that. It's really hard on the liver, and she got put on antibiotics, I think 3 or 4 times, because we thought it was a cut inside the nose. Like I said, we thought it was Lyme disease, and then we thought it was cancer. And so she just basically got put on antibiotic. And I think it was just like, the 3rd time that year she got put on antibiotics. I think that's what basically fully started to shut the liver down and basically started the process. And I mean, I can't blame the vet for that, but somebody who's, went to medical school and stuff, and this is your job, I would hope you'd be a little more professional. And I took her to 2 different vets, and it is what it is, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. And dogs get old, and they die. But I think the main thing is like I just didn't know, and I didn't know how to take care of her. And I think that was like, not until the end, but like I think that was the main issue. And then having to watch her struggle with it and not knowing is, it's a tough one. Seeing anything that you care about struggle, especially in that way, is really hard. But getting back into kind of like nutrition and everything else, like especially for the people who are into fish and stuff, overall nutrition for your animal, like I don't care if it's a liver, a reptile, a bird, a mammal, whatever, make sure you research the diet, and make sure you diversify that diet, and that they're getting the vitamins and the proteins and everything that they need to have a healthy life. And I try doing that with my dog and stuff, but like I said, I think that's part of the reason why she probably lived as long as she did, because usually with this disease, I would probably have been lucky to get her to probably about 8, but I got her almost to 11, so that's good. And the dog's average life is technically 10 to 12, and then like 13 is really old for a pit bull. But yeah, it was really hard to watch her go. But diversify your food. If you got a dog or any animal, try to feed it At least try to feed some raw food to it every once in a while. I'm not saying make that its sole source of food, but you don't want your Purina dog food just to be your sole source of food. And I've heard from other people like, oh, you don't want to change their diet up and it's not good for them, blah, blah, blah. No, diversify the diet as much as you possible. Research the diet and stick to the diet. And that even goes for you. Make sure you have healthy water, and you got, healthy, clean food, and you're eating right. Don't be drinking all the sodas and the McDonald's and stuff, because some of that food that you're giving your dog is basically nutrition for a dog, a nutritional value. Sorry, I'm kind of plugged up. Nutritional value as McDonald's for your dog or your cat, and you want to stay away from that. Try to feed them actual chicken breasts are really good, because boneless chicken breast, make sure that it doesn't have any bones in it at all, and try to feed your dog at least once a week some raw food, carrots, vegetables, and all that good stuff. Jumping back over to the fish side of things, we are setting up, it's kind of both. I set up a little dog pond in the backyard, and I threw some goldfish and a couple koi in it. And later on in my next video, we're actually going to be going out to one of the breeders here locally, who's one of our best breeders. I'm going to go, he's in Tennessee right now, and I talked to him because you have to have an appointment to go see. We're going to make a video out there. I'm going to grab a couple koi from them, but we're going to be talking about getting fish, and especially fish from PetSmart and Petco and some of your other local stores. And I know this guy is really good because I talked to them. If you go back and watch probably my first video that I did, the Japanese garden / koi show, they're in there. They're one of the main, I think, displays that I actually went and talked to. They're really cool guys. The dudes that he had working for him at that time. And at that time, it would have been awesome to grab some fish, because I think he was selling them for $12 or something at the time. There was a 50% discount. But I'm gonna pick him up for about 30. So we're gonna get some, I forgot what you call juvenile koi, but we're gonna get some juveniles, and hopefully that works out. But in the meanwhile, I went and got some goldfish. I got a couple balloons. I got, like I said, 2 kois, and then I got a couple fish, whatever. I don't really, I'm long day, don't really care. But see, I got this black guy right here, right? I'm trying to save him. Well, is he dead yet? No, he's got some fight. So, I went out and checked on him today, and he was acting lethargic, and I pulled him out, and it looked like he had something going on. I don't know exactly what it is, so I pulled him out. I knew I shouldn't have really just dumped him in there, but the reason why I did dump him in there was I figure it's outside. There's plenty of filtration. I've tested the water's really good. And I thought the sunlight and everything, if I kept it really healthy, that they would be okay. But I think this guy whatever he had was, he's had it for a while, because one of my friends actually went into that same PetSmart that I went and got the koi from. And we always have issues with these guys. But they shut down the koi section because of an outbreak. And this is what bothers me the most. You already went and you stuck your fish in a display tank, right? And you put them out for sale, and now your whole system's contaminated. This is one of the main problems I have with Petco, PetSmart, and most of my local fish stores. Quarantine your fish, especially people who are getting new into the hobby. Not everybody's going to be knowing about this unless you go and research the crap out of it. Your average person who's like, okay, I have a 5-year-old little girl. You took her to the aquarium. Now she wants a tank in her room, right? You go over to your local fish store. You want to get her a goldfish or whatever, not knowing that goldfish either has a bacteria or some type of infection. You get it home, and within the first month of having that fish, you got to explain to your daughter why that fish died. Okay? No one really wants to do that. You know what I'm saying? So people, like, for the most part, unless you've been in the hobby, you're not going to know about quarantine. And that's why it needs to be the store's responsibility. Some stores, not all stores, and there is some, I mean, I'm not going to get down on some of my local fish stores, but mainly with the big box stores, and especially Petco, I don't like how you guys give me a damn contract saying that I only got a certain amount of time with the animal before it becomes my responsibility. That's not okay in my book, you know? It's not okay. That's not okay. It's not okay. With that said, it's like, we all know that some of those fish have been in transport for weeks at a time, or even days. And it's just absurd that you guys think it's okay to go and just plop those fish right in those tanks. And people, like I said, what if somebody went and spent a lot of money on this and you're just like, you're a sucker, catch-22 BS? Forget about it. Forget about it. So, like I said, quarantine your fish as soon as you get them. Not always, but like I said, it's an experiment. But my main thing is to, I was talking about the dog and stuff, and your nutrition for all your pets. Make sure you research their nutrition and what they need. But the main thing is, it's like, I'm tired of that. I'm gonna go through a lot. I think I'm gonna go to one of my next videos. I'm gonna be going to all of the big box stores, and we're gonna do a little undercover stuff. All right, and we're gonna go look at their tanks and everything else. So it's like, if you guys want to sell dry supplies, that's one thing. But selling a live animal like you do is complete BS, and it's abuse. I'm gonna go around and show you all of the abuse of what they do to fish and stuff. It's not okay, and this is a prime example. So, again, like, and the other thing, and even, I know a lot of people in the hobby kind of hype up their local fish stores or whatever, but, I'm guilty of it too, but I went into one of the other ones, and the one that had the guy who, he basically chewed me out and said I had bad water quality. I'm still mad about that. But, I went back in there, and again, just like every other store, there's that one dead fish that and they put in the display tank, has now infected the whole damn tank. And then I'm going to go in there, or somebody else is going to go in there. We're going to get that fish. This place is not as bad because they usually have a good policy. But, again, I'm tired of getting irresponsible fish store owners. And I'm tired of them hiring like these kids who don't know anything, or they act like they know something or whatever, and then I got to deal with them. I'm tired of it. It's almost to the point where I don't even really want to be in the hobby anymore because of crap like this. Within a week or two of getting them. And now I'm having to do all this extra work, got to get medications, got to do all this extra stuff. It takes away from the beauty, the fun, and everything about it. It's unnecessary, and I'm tired of it. And I'm going to continue making these videos, and I want to give a shout out, what is it? FFF, or Fish for Thought, whatever. Keep up on those fish tank reviews. Keep up on the fish abuse stuff. I don't know what else I'm going to say. I'm going to rant and rave again about this topic. But until then, stay salty, crew. I'll talk to you next time. Peace, love, bless up.